I'm going to start my timer for the 3-minute presentation. If my alarm goes off at the 3-minute mark, I will just stop you there and then we'll head to the Q&A. Any questions before we get going?
No.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. All right, you may begin your presentation now.
Thank you. Well, thank you for coming out today. As you can see, we're Rep Center, and today's topic is on property. These are our team members who contribute to the project, and thank you for their hard work. So some basic statistics on poverty. So 736 million people live below $1.90 a day. Of this population, 52% of them are women. And what's shocking is that 80% of them live in rural and developing countries. Nabir? I think she's disconnected.
Screen?
Yeah, we hear you now.
I can't see anything. I can't see.
You're breaking up, Nabir. Is there any way that we could pause the presentation or no?
Joseph, I might suggest that you go ahead and just present Abir's slides.
Okay, because we tailored it for each individual because she's more knowledgeable about her region than I am. That's the issue. But I mean, I can continue regardless of my parts.
Mainly to the low.
Oh.
Is there another student who can jump in?
Can one of my teammates jump in? Maybe Hacham? Okay, if anything, but pretty much what the problem that we noticed is that there is a weak women inclusion. There's also a low level of human development, which relates to lack of education and necessary skills. There's a few farms, a low income, lack of tools, materials, and agriculture and farming. And there's also poor marketing as well. So how are we going to tackle this problem? So one way we tackle this problem is creating a center, which we're calling a reset center, which tackles the issues on refrigeration, solar panels, access to internet, safe drinking water, sanitation, and mobile charging. So a recap of pretty much of the business model canvas is that we're focusing on 5 points, which is the value proposition, key activities, customer segment, key partnership, and revenue. And with revenue, we're dealing with both products and services, and we're also extending our hands to donations in exchange for some form of publicity. So not only are we focusing on poverty, but we're also tackling gender inequality, affordable and clean energy, and decent and work and economic growth. So
okay, Joseph, the timer just went off, so 3 minutes are up. I know there were some technical difficulties, but hopefully we can kind of iron out the questions in the Q&A.
Of course, yes.
So I'm going to start that timer now. So you're going to have 5 minutes for Q&A. Judges, if you just want to use the raise hand feature, and I'll just call on you, and you can begin with your questions now. Or if you just want to physically raise your hand, that works too.
I'll do. Joseph, can you re-describe just briefly the solution itself again? I mean, we kind of went through it pretty quick, but I'd like to hear a little bit more detail on intended impact in particular.
Yes, so one of the issues about poverty is that these people have lack of resources, don't have accessibility to clean water, and this model is a byproduct of what's already existing from the Coca-Cola company called Eco Center. and we were just modifying the idea so it tailors our needs more efficiently. And one of the needs that the people in Morocco's are wanting, so to speak, is safe cleaning water, refrigeration, electricity, basic goods, and that's pretty much it's pretty much a kiosk, but we hope to develop it into a center, which impacts the community more.
Christine, I think you had raised your hand if you want to go next.
I did. Yeah, it was similar to what Steve had said. I was looking for a recap again of what the problem statement is again, and then the solution. But I think what it is a kiosk essentially.
Yes.
And where would this kiosk be located?
Well, this was the thing. So the first thing is located in Morocco, and I'm not going to butcher these cities' names, but this is the general area that we want to target first. Because again, what we mentioned earlier is that one of the poverty hits hardest in rural countries. So focus on this environment will be the best target.
Can I ask one follow-up question? Sorry to
Absolutely.
monopolize time. I'll be very quick. What is at the kiosk?
Excuse me?
What is at the kiosk?
So at the kiosk,
Mm-hmm.
provides refrigeration, cleaning water, sanitation, basic goods. And what's also interesting about the basic goods is that we're also using local farmers and, again, empowering women as well, so I would have a chance to make some form of income.
Thank you.
Any other judges want to unmute and ask a question? Sure,
Yes,
go ahead.
I would love to. I have a question about where have you arrived at this point? Like, what has been done in this project up in this point? Is there like a study going on when it comes to, because I see the solar energy, so you need a lot of studies when it comes to this implementation. What have you done so far that we can actually present as something that we can validate at this point?
So the only thing we have as of right now is just the research to back up our findings or this project, so to speak. Because again, this is a modification of what Coca-Cola has already done. And from Coca-Cola's perspective or results, they were able to hit over 150 like cities within 8 countries, and they're also expanding or planning to expand to Latin America. And the places that they already tackled were Africa and a Arabic country as well. And any other questions?
One quick one. How do you see this being able to be replicated and sustainable in the future?
A lot of what we're envisioning will be from donations, because one of the things is that to have solar panels, to have this very purification cleaning water, it's just too expensive on our end. And that's what I mentioned. Part of revenues is looking for donations and have some form of exchange and publicity, similar to what Coca-Cola did, where they have many partnerships with IBM, other tech companies. But since we're the head figure, so to speak, these countries that benefit from the kiosks also benefit from their products as well. But we are also trying to focus more on Moroccan products, because one thing we noticed is that Coca-Cola was overly producing their own products, and we felt that was not encouraging to the people of Morocco.
Could you speak, Joseph, maybe, or anyone else from the team, about what the experience was like collaborating with your teammates, across cultures, and how that helped to strengthen the project?
Yeah, and I mentioned to them before, like here in America, at least, we take a lot of things for granted, and I was truly, I really can't say it enough. I was truly inspired by their story, because they were saying, like Mohammed and Abir and Hajar from the Morocco team, they were talking about how like there's a lot of brilliant students in Morocco, but because they don't have like access to water, because they don't have electricity, because they don't have a good sanitation system or a good restroom to go at home, it just really puts everything to perspective. And and myself personally, I got emotionally invested into this, and we do want to make this feasible one day and really change the livelihood of Morocco. Additionally, I would like to say as well is that from my background,
Joseph, I hate to cut you off, but
yeah.
the 5-minute Q&A period has now ended.
Mhm.
So Team 1, thank you so much. You did a great job amidst some technical difficulties, and we really appreciate all the work you've done on this project. It's really exciting to see how you collaborated and what you came up with. So thank you so much. Please join us at, Steve, what time are we announcing winners? I think it's
Central Time is 11:30.
11:30.
Awesome.
So
Perfect.
Team 1 students, make sure you join us again in a little bit to kind of have sort of a culminating little celebration and learn who has won. So you are now free to leave the Zoom meeting, and we will see you soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Team 1.
Thank you.